Little Caesars changed the game, bro.
They did.
Little Caesars changed. That's the most shot of shit I've ever seen.
Hey, Chewy, blood. They want you on the podcast, bro. Look, he Mexican, bro. You gotta put him on.
Am I interrupting your depression? I'm sorry.
This week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Wraps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Wraps, where the big boys play.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Voice Party Podcast. It's me, JD, here, right?
You are JD.
Yeah, JD and the Voice Party
You are,
Podcast.
I hate you.
I'm here with fucking Marcos, right? Marcos?
That is my name.
All right, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, all right. I'm here with Black Joaquin. What's up, Black Joaquin?
Hey,
how you
man,
doing?
what's up? I'm straight. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Straight.
And I'm here with Stuttering Corday.
What's up, man?
What's cracking?
I'm cold.
What's up with green beanies over there?
Because I'm
What's
cold.
going
That's the
on?
only reason why.
Okay.
If it was a black one, it'd be black.
And then we got Phil in the ones and twos.
That's right. I'm going to make a compilation episode of just all the things that happen after I press record and before you say welcome to the Voice Party.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for that. We got a very special guest here, guys.
Yes, we do.
Yes, sir.
I'm actually very happy to have him back because we had him on before your well, it wasn't before your time, but you know, you weren't here. You were here.
Time after time.
And a lot of changes have happened. I like seeing this kind of shit.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Give it up for Rudy Loya. Woo! We're wearing glasses all day.
I can't do it. I was like, please take them off. I tried. I was like hiding with him, you know.
What's up, bro?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Good to have you back, bro.
Thank you for having me back.
A lot of changes have happened since you. I'm still fat, but
start?
you.
I've gotten fatter.
Skinny.
I'm happy to see like your progress, man.
Yeah.
And every time you post, like you got a baby on the way. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congrats, man.
I'm on call, man, any minute.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We'll make it quick. Last time you were here, you know we had planned that like way ahead of time. And how long were you clean before that weekend when you came last time?
So I think that when I was here last time, it was kind of like a hit and miss. Like, you know, I'd be clean for like a month.
Yeah.
Go out to the bar, mess it all up. Be clean for like 2 months, go out, mess it up. But when I came in last time, I know that I had like drank earlier that day.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
Sure, yeah. And I think if I remember correctly, that was like a drink in the morning to just fix the shakes and you know what I mean?
The showbiz, baby.
Yeah, dude, I'm a real addict alcoholic, you know what I mean? And when I do it big. And so I don't have like a stop or an off, you know what I mean? So I do remember, I think I took some drinks that morning just to kind of fix myself, you know, and function.
Yeah.
And
You had drank the day before?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, some time went by, and I couldn't give you the exact amount, but shortly after that,
that was like summertime. Yeah.
Shortly after that, I went into a Kaiser like outpatient thing. It was like Zoom meetings, and I would go to that for like a couple hours every day, and then I was like good for like 5 months, but I wasn't doing anything recovery related. You know what I mean? So, you know, I probably talked about how last time I had like. At one point from 2014 to 2020, I had like 6 years clean, you know, six and a half years clean.
When I met you, you were in that
deep into the recovery stuff. And so, you know, having had that and then doing like this Kaiser stuff, stopping, and then you saw me getting into the gym. I got into skydiving. Like I was doing all this stuff, but it wasn't recovery related. You know what I mean? So I thought like I'm killing the game. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm good. And then it crept back up on me.
That was just a phase.
Yeah. And so after 5 months of being clean, relapsed again and was out for like a good month of progressively getting worse and worse, using more and more and more. And then at the end, November 12th, I believe it was, is when I had my last drink. And then I was talking with one of my buddies from this rehab facility called DVR, and they got me in there, and I spent 30 days in there. And from there, it got me reintroduced to like recovery related. Yeah. So now I've got a sponsor again. I've already worked the 12 steps. I continue working, you know, the steps with my sponsor. I'm looking to sponsor other people.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So now I feel a lot stronger about it. You
That's
know?
awesome.
Because of like what you just this whole topic,
Right.
Shortly after that, and our boy here went into the DVR as well.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he went to it was a DVR. You probably mentioned it, but that's also why
I'm very open
we
about
talked about doing this. You had coming back. And then he already went through his, and that's why I wanted to, especially now, because I see like we talked about it last time. You know, when you're here, addiction is like a way bigger problem in society than we really look at it.
Yeah.
Like you like maybe I don't. You know, I don't get drunk and shit like that anymore, but I have my own vices, you know, and we all do different things, you know, like we were talking about the last guy, it could be porn.
Right.
And that's kind of what I wanted to, you know, dedicate more episodes of this, use whatever platform I got for this to, like, you know, hey, maybe it could save someone's life.
Yeah, for sure. And I was thinking about that too, like with me, you know, voicing my story and stuff like that. Hopefully it helps somebody else along the way who listens to this, you know. And met a friend through you guys on the last episode. I'm blanking right now. Samantha.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, you know, that was cool and everything. And then I thanked her, and then we've just been like Instagram friends ever since. You know what I mean?
No, she told me. She told me.
Recovery too.
She's in recovery too.
She's been
open about it too.
Super supportive of the things I'm doing and stuff. So it was cool, man. You know what I mean? Just to, you know, meet
a little
people.
community that supports each other.
You know what's actually kind of crazy? Going through this sobriety journey is realizing how many other people are sober.
For real.
Because it feels like, because when you're out, you're obviously not in the regular world of like, oh, you might meet 20 people that are sober, but like, I was always around people that drank, did
It's
drugs.
like a secret society.
Like, oh yeah, I mean, it's a little bit, yeah, right? And then all of a sudden you get sober and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember going to my first AA meetings out of DVR, and I started seeing people I knew. Yeah. And I was like, never would have guessed.
Famous people too, like Danny Trejo's got like
40 something years.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
He still goes to meetings down in LA and everything.
My buddy used to go back in Nashville. He used to go to meetings with like all the country stars, like Keith Urban, and like a bunch of other people and stuff. And
that's rad, dude.
Yeah, he said it was pretty cool. But you know what I mean? Like it's really cool to see that, you know. I love that saying. It's like, you're not unique. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's a problem that like a lot of people have that.
Well, yeah, because you get so into your head.
Problem?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you get so in your head that I'm unique, man. No one's going through what I'm going through. Yeah. But then you get put into this room, and every time someone talks or opens their mouth, you're like, yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh, me too.
Especially at DVR, bro.
DVR was...
Dude straight out of prison with tattoos on their face and everything. And then, like, you know, my square ass in there, and we're suffering from the same
thing.
Bro. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, crying with each other. And
right.
Like, it's wild. You know what I mean? It's a great experience, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was...
How was your experience in the DVR? Like...
It was a lot like what I just said. Dudes from all walks of life, people coming out of tents, like under freeways, people coming fresh out of prison, you know, people whose parents sent them there, or, you know what I mean, just all different walks. Yeah, man,
we had 18-year-olds in my house.
For both of you,
there's like a 19-year-old that while I was there. Yeah, just a kid, man.
Yeah,
you know?
For both of you, why do you think people like? What's something that you think become alcoholics? Like, is it from early childhood stuff? It's not because this shit tastes hella good, like, oh, I gotta have it, you know. It's not that. What do you think it is?
So I think
from your opinion,
I think there's a big medical standpoint in it where, like, it fits what they call a disease model. It's a malfunction of a major organ of your body, and so, which is your brain, right? And so most people can have, you know, a glass of wine with dinner and leave part of the glass of wine and stuff. My brain is like, you're gonna leave that there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then one glass, like, what's the point of that? Like, I don't feel nothing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because I'm drinking to feel it.
Here's another one. You see people that can put down their glass when they're chilling. Not me. Yeah. I'm holding it. I'm holding it the whole time.
Oh, like that.
Holding my whiskey, holding my wine. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're not letting it go.
Right. I like to use the alcohol, and it's a depressant, and then I end up doing powder to bring me back up.
Yep.
And then now I'm doing this all night long.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, fuck, now I'm gacked out. Now I got to drink some more, and now I'm like drunk again. So then I'm tooting and going back up. And it's bad.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean?
as an alcoholic, you gotta have your
I guess it's different for everyone, but but like for me and a lot of my friends, I mean, that was a lot of like random things that I didn't even think about until someone pointed it out, and I was like, oh yeah, you never let go of your glass. I was like, shut up, how do you know that?
Are you the same way? Like never let go. Like I noticed that now that I think of it.
Yeah, and then for the most part, if I'm at a bar, it might be sitting in front of me, but it's right there.
Because I was at Copper Spoon hosting on Thursday. You Copper Spoon, you been there? I took a beer up when I started off my hosting set. You know, I left it on the little stool. Then I went, introduced the first comic, left, and I was like, "Where did I put that beer?" Like, but I was chill about it. You know,
that wouldn't be me. That wouldn't be me.
I just gave up. Like I lost the beer. Fuck it. And
I'd either walk back out on stage to get it or be at the bar again.
One of my homies comic said, "Go get it!" Like while the dude was up, like, "No, he's
JD coming out of the back. Like,
excuse me, bro. Sorry, mid joke. My bad. Thank you. All right, everybody. Cheers, everybody.
That's a real alcoholic too. Like if you have to interrupt someone else's set to go get your beer,
that's what I was thinking. I was like,
probably. I mean, spit on me.
Yeah, if it was food, that's a different story.
No, I think it's like a bunch of different things.
Excuse me, Jerry Seinfeld, my burritos right here.
Sorry. I think it's a bunch of different things too. It could be trauma from when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Everyone's a little bit different, but also, and this is my experience and stuff I've heard a lot too, is that I grew up in a normal family. I didn't have abusive parents. I lived a very okay life. Yeah. You know, the normal shit that you would get in trouble with your parents for.
That's what abused people say.
Nothing crazy. Yeah, like, you know what I mean though? Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I wasn't super poor. I wasn't super rich. I didn't have, I had a good life.
Yep.
And I still became an alcoholic, you know? It's just something in me that couldn't just have one. That couldn't, and, you know, I noticed this, like, from a very young age. It was anything that I did, right? When I got into paintball, I started making my own money. All of a sudden, I bought a bunch of paintball gear and went like 3 or 4 times. But I was like, oh, I'm invested in this. You know what I mean? I was like addicted to it. Only watching videos about that. Only doing this and that.
You have an obsessive compulsive
obsessive mindset, right?
That's what I was gonna say. Is it just alcohol is what you use, like your tool?
Alcohol is the thing that really fucked it up for me. You know what I mean? Like as far as my life goes, because how I'm using that addiction now with AA, how I'm using it with music and being more creative, right?
Now you're
that stuff,
tattoos.
that's a tattoo. Yeah, okay, that might be a problem too. I love tattoos. I do love tattoos.
That's all only got.
But you know, as far as the mind altering stuff that can affect our life in a negative way, right? Like using that addictive personality somewhere positive, right?
For sure.
That's basically what AA is, and the journey of sobriety shifting. Because I know they say you can get rid of addiction. How do you actually feel about this? Because I struggle with this, that not that you're never and you cannot be an alcoholic anymore, but that, you know, you kind of get rid of the disease in a sense, right? It says that in the book.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with it is like when we bring our addiction to AA, we hopefully get addicted to staying sober. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the idea.
Right.
But then you're still addicted.
No, 100%. And that's
something good.
Right. But the contradiction of that is like some people say, oh no, that goes away now, blah blah blah. And
I think the compulsion to drink goes away. You know, like I'm still early in recovery right now, having 4 months. It still creeps up on me, and I'm like, a drink would be good right now. I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Right.
You know what I mean, like seriously, just like, what in the hell? That just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that happens for me when I see my family drink sometimes.
Right. And when I had years of sobriety, it did kind of leave me. You know what I mean? I wasn't really thinking about it, and then. I don't know if I discussed last time, we call it she-lapse. You know, I got with a girl who was an alcoholic and tried to fix her as a good codependent, you know what I mean, and try to help, and it just drugged me down with it, you know.
Right.
But, you know, and it eventually brought back the urge to drink. But I think you can lose the compulsion and the urge, but once you put that substance back into you, it's a wrap again. You know, there's no... so for me... having had quite some sobriety and then going back out, I can definitely say that there's no how could I put this, like my brain knows as soon as I get like a beer or two in me, that little change, my brain knows that it could feel this other way, you know, like which is hammered, you know what I mean, which is like my brain already knows like, no, this is like weak, you just tickling me right now, you know, let's go do
like,
this.
Don't tease me.
Yeah,
you already started.
Let's go do this. Immediately.
Is there a point where you like me and Dave talked about this, where he went to one of our homies who's also, he's open about being sober, comedian. He talked about it. He went to an event with someone and they asked for a Red Bull, but they were making Red Bull with vodka drinks, and he took a sip and he spit it out. Like, do you think about that? Like, if that happened to you, would you like, oh no, I don't know, like, you know, is that something
it actually has happened to me before? And,
it has.
And it was my fault, you know. I was hanging out with some friends at a bar, and I had years of sobriety. But what it was I asked, what did I ask for? Like a Sprite, and somebody got like Sprite with vodka or something like that.
Sprite and vodka on the rocks. Hold a Sprite on the rocks.
Something like that. And I took a drink and was like, ugh. And I was okay, you know. It didn't. I was just like, you know. But it's
I feel like you don't have to change your sobriety date for a mishap like that. It's the relapse comes where
you decide
at that moment, fuck it, I already drank it, I might as well make. That's when the relapse happens, right?
Because mishaps, I mean, they can happen.
They can happen.
It teaches you a lesson, just like me and Dave said, right? You end up, you just know that you have to always go get your own drink now. You know. Would you like? I mean, I know this probably sounds like tedious, but would you? Like, if you go somewhere to eat like pasta, and you know a lot of times they put wine in the pasta sauce, would that be a problem for you or no? I'll tell you what.
For me,
I just had my dad just made wine pasta or something for the first time in a while, because we used to have it all the time during the pandemic, and he was starting to make it without it after I came out of recovery, because I just wasn't sure, you know what I mean, if I could taste it. And then he finally made it, and I had my first bite, and I was like, oh, I taste the difference again. Like, I do actually, it didn't bring back like, oh, I want to drink wine, but it was like, oh.
Like the Lord of the Rings guy, am I fresh?
It was just really interesting, because like I tasted the flavor, and the flavor, and when I got to like towards the end of my run was like, I was a big wine snob, because I was working in high-end catering, and I was doing all this kind of stuff, and so like, I was drinking really nice things, and then I was just getting fucked up on them. Then we, you know, do coke and stuff on the side, but you know, the normal stuff.
Just a little. Just cut mine's real small.
there are things that people use, like there's a prescription drug called Antabuse that they use to not drink alcohol, and what it does, it makes you very sick.
If you drink alcohol.
If you drink alcohol, so then those people will have an issue with like wine, pasta, and things like that, because then it'll make them sick. You know what I mean?
Damn. Okay.
Hand sanitizer, things like that.
People drink that, huh?
Well, they drink that, but the people on the Antabuse can't use it. They can't have alcohol at all. Can't have alcohol at all when they're taking that pill.
Okay.
Or it makes them violently ill.
Wow.
Dude, DVR and stuff was so strict. Like, they took away my allergy medicine when I got there. I mean, you couldn't do anything. Really? I had to get alcohol-free everything, including my hair gel.
How have you been around like people drinking now?
It doesn't bug me now. No. The weirdest thing with me is
cool,
like...
Can you say that? Because I'm just kidding.
He's like, cool, because our new sponsor today is Bud Light Seltzer.
Smirnoff.
And a glass plate.
White Claw.
I'd be like, I gotta go.
Just spill some on my nose.
It's a conscious decision for me. Like, when I decide to relapse, it's there. It's full-fledged, you know what I mean? Because... even in this last couple months, like I've gone out to the bar to meet friends or whatever, you know, I don't hang out there a long time. I don't spend all night there or anything, but I've gone out to say what's up or whatever, rode the motorcycle down, you know, said what's up, but
driving your own vehicle.
Very
important.
When the last time I went out, I was at home cleaning my house. You know, I was just like cleaning stuff up, doing laundry, doing all kinds of stuff.
Boring.
I was like, you know what would be cool right now is a couple drinks. You know what I mean? You know, and then I went and had a couple drinks and
off to the races.
You know, off to the races.
So okay, I was gonna ask you that, like when you first think in your mind, you're sober, you go, man, a couple drinks would be dope right now, because sometimes it creeps up on me
like
as
a
well.
Holidays, I'm sure you feel it.
Yeah, because everyone's drinking, everyone's getting drunk, and you're like, man, I used to do this, I used to have fun. But like, what is that for? What's going through your mind when you're going to the bar, knowing you're sober? Like, is it, fuck, am I gonna fuck up my time? Do you even care about that? Or
at that point, it's fuck it, let's go. It's just fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
I will say though, like when I had that,
no second guesses at all.
Yeah. Once it's the time, but like when I told you I had that little out of nowhere thought, you know what I mean? Those ones I'm like, get out, you know what I mean? But when it's in there and it goes through like this process in my brain and then I decide to, there's no second guess after that.
No, because that's the start of the relapse process. You already relapsed at that point.
I'm already there, you know?
Yeah.
But how could I explain this? Like, I will say when I had those 6.5 years of sobriety, I was in it to win it. You know, I thought I was never ever going to drink again, and turns out that it's still there. But once I had lost that, the idea of these numbers made it easier for me to keep doing it.
What do you mean?
So the numbers of like how many days I had, 6 years, 4 months, 20 days is what it was. You know what I mean? And then when I did it. And then I was like at a month again, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, a month? Fucking who gives a shit? It's a month, whatever. Let's go kick it at the bar again, whatever. It was easier to give it up.
To give it up, right.
Yeah, in my head anyways. And then one thing I will say too is like, those numbers mean a lot when you're trying to stay sober, but they also don't equal recovery, if that makes sense.
Because you're still.
That's what I'm trying to get into my head.
That's heavy, man.
So I know people with 20 years of sobriety who have done nothing with themselves. They're living off GA. They're struggling, and I'm not trying to hate, but I'm like, bro, you're fully able-bodied. You're capable.
You're still living like an addict.
Yeah, and you're living like an addict. You're doing nothing with yourself. With your kids and with your. And I'm like, you gotta. There's growth that's supposed to happen, and you should be taking care of your family and doing.
And you're just not drinking. That's the only thing. You're not
drinking, but not living at the same time.
Not living, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And that's one of those things where people get stuck in, huh? Like, because they're like, if I step over here and I have a real life problem, whatever, then I'm back on drinking.
Right.
I've heard of that. People's like, I'm not drinking anymore, but I'm afraid of getting heartbroken.
Right.
Again.
Well, that's where the she-lapse comes in.
She-lapse. Yeah. That's like for you, I mean, that's one of the things that I see like now that a big change is, you relapsed, like you said, the she-lapse back then. Now you looks like you got a good partner.
Oh yeah.
You're about to have your first kid.
My first baby boy. Any minute
now. Yeah. Check your phone, bro.
I know, right? I got my silent too. I'm gonna yell at. Should be at the hospital right now.
Any minute now, like you're on a whole.
So this sounds super fucked up, but I think I'm the only person who relapsed again and shit got better.
That's the clip.
It's not supposed to work that way at all. And granted, like my spirituality and my life and my health was fucking skyrocketing down, and I was well on my way to throwing away everything I had worked for.
Right.
But this ex that I was with, who ended up kind of, I don't want to say that she took me out,
for sure.
Me sticking around, helped to
the process took you out.
Helped the process, and towards the end of that, it was a terrible relationship. Towards the end of it, my fiance now, Robin, who we've known each other like 20 years, right? We dated about 10 years ago for I think almost 3 years. And we've always loved each other. We were just too young and dumb, both partying back then and wilding out. And then 10 years goes by, and right at the end of that, my bad relationship, she calls me and we start hanging out like immediately as that one ends, right? And so she comes back into my life, and things are just like, especially after this crummy relationship, made me super realize how special she is, right? And how much I can trust her and everything, right? And then so we just hit the ground running, right? And then asked her to marry me by, I don't know, within like 6 months, I think.
6 months ago, no?
It was Christmas
2022.
I believe so.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Christmas Eve or something like that. Christmas, I don't remember. But yeah, it was a few months ago. Wait, no.
It was a year ago, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Christmas 2021, I think.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you came 2021.
Yeah. It's been a minute, huh?
Yeah.
So,
wait, the baby took that long.
You know.
Yeah, she's pregnant for a year in
2021. God, has a long process, bro.
Discussed having a baby, and you know, she has a 17-year-old, and you know, we discussed having a baby and all that stuff. So, like I said, you know, it sounds fucked up. I'm the one who relapsed and shit.
Right.
Well, because you kind of saw like what you could go back to, you know, or I'm assuming, right? Like,
I was on my way to throwing all this away. I'm grateful she stuck around. You know,
I don't think it's you relapse anything. Everything got better. You hit rock bottom and then you shot back up. That's what I think it is.
I like it. Yeah. The thing was, like, I was still.
Hey, either way, it was gonna
when she came around. You know what I mean?
Rudy, either way, it was gonna work out for you, bro.
It always does somehow.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, man. Because I mean, that doesn't always play out like that. You know, that doesn't.
One of the sickest things that like somebody discussed in DVR that I realized I was doing the same thing was I got this beautiful girl at home. In a nice king-size bed, right, waiting for me, and I'm pulling up after the bar closes and sitting in the driveway cold, still doing lines and drinking out of a bottle while she's waiting for me inside. She just wants me to be home, and I'm too drunk to go inside.
Right.
And fucking, you know what I mean? Like, that's how sick it is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Wow. And that's a person you love. Like,
and all she wants is for me to be inside and in that bed with her and home safe. But I'm so much of an addict, you know, I'm still... You know, already closed the bar out, still sitting in the driveway with the heater on, drinking and snoring lines.
And you're choosing this over this person that loves you.
Yeah,
that's
sick.
Yeah, that's.
It's crazy when you look back at your time.
Yeah.
And you realize, like, the stupid things that you would do.
Oh yeah.
Right, and that were completely normal for us.
Yeah.
On a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like I was so in denial that I had shakes. I'll tell you this, like I couldn't hold a glass of water or anything like for 2 years at this point. And I was so just in denial until I went to rehab, and 15 days in I was able to hold a cup that stupid fucking plastic cup of coffee that they have.
I remember
so pissed. I was like, fuck, I had the shakes the entire time and I was just like telling people I don't.
I remember I realized it was a problem. We all did realize he had a problem where we met up at I met up with him at 9 a.m. He was already like lit. It's like you know, Friday night 12 a.m. drunk at 9 a.m.
A whole lot of hair of the dog.
And then we met up. We met up at 4 p.m. later. Everyone, and he was still like, I'm not, you know. I mean,
no, it's okay.
Yeah. I was like, Jesus, like that's
and we had the meeting later on that day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 4 p.m. we met up,
and he was
tore up. Freezing with no jacket, like Jesus Christ.
I was at the park the whole time just drinking.
Yeah. And you asked him to sober up too before the meeting.
I was like, you better not show up drunk.
And I did.
And then shortly after that, like I gave him the boot from this whole thing, kind of, not really, but you know, I was like,
a wake up call.
He was farting and making. I
was like falling asleep.
He was working the sound at one of my comedy shows. And he saw that their time was out, the comics. He wouldn't wait for them to finish out, just put music over their comedy.
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, you did.
Lunch, boy.
No, I didn't.
You Apollo theatered those.
No, there was one that I was like already buzzing, and like I was working for the show though, and he did not tell me that this one guy had more than 10 minutes. And so I kept giving him the light, and like he just like wasn't. I also farted during one.
He brought up Nicole Tran, this older comic, to that's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. Tupac shoot him up. He brought this sweet old lady. Tupac hit him up.
Okay, in my defense, I was doing that on purpose because I was going based off people's jokes, and so like I was like,
that's why I fucked your bitch.
Yeah.
What's up?
I'll still do that till this day if I'm DJing.
I thought that was hilarious.
That had nothing to do with being drunk.
That's a perfect way to bring it up.
Yeah, it was a comedy show.
It was a comedy show. I'm not sure. But
no. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. But like, yeah, like that was like my job. It was affecting everything I did in life, and like it was like no, trust me, like I still care, but like how much do I care if I'm showing up drunk?
Yep.
If I'm fucking up the show? I love entertainment myself. I'm in a band, like, you know, this is my life. But I really don't care that much if I'm fucking other people's
It takes
dreams.
over everything, man.
Were you fucking up?
Everything.
Was it affecting your job too?
Yeah. Yep.
And then when alcohol causes problems or drugs, whatever, you go solve it with more alcohol.
Yeah.
Because that's what's gonna solve my.
Yeah,
problems.
there's times where like, you know, I'm trying to keep it cool, but then I'm doing that level up thing all night, too drunk, do some more coke. You know what I mean? Like doing that all night, and I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like, all right, I got work in the morning, and it's next thing I know, it's fucking time to go to work. It's 5 a.m. or something. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
and now you're all doped up with caffeine.
Yeah. Just mixed emotions. So either go in and try to wing it, and you know everything, or call in sick,
and drink more.
Yep.
If you got the day off, might as well.
There's some of the bars that I was going to. They have like they open at 6 a.m. because not only is that legally when you can sell again, but there's like factories, right? And these dudes are getting off night shifts, so it's their evening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it makes sense. Like they want to go have a nightcap or whatever at 6 a.m. Well, I'm either still up from the night before, and I'm like, oh, they're opening back up, and then I'm from open to close again,
right?
Or or I've passed out for or I passed out for a couple hours, woke up, and I'm shaking now, and so I go back down there. You know, have a Bloody Mary to start it off with.
Yeah.
You ever been 86 from a bar, like in your while you were like? Did it get to that point? No. Okay.
But I also hang out at real grimy bars. If my shoes aren't sticking to the floor, like, you know, it's not, you know.
This ain't my kind of bar. This shit too fancy for me.
Yeah, people, you know,
they got more than 2 cocktails on the menu. What's going on?
You know, fights and things are kind of a normal thing, you know, and if you're like a regular and you get in a fight, it's all right, go home that day and you can come back tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like a high-end place where they're like, never come back again.
You want to go where everybody knows your name.
Hey, what do you like? Do you think about in the future, like the possibility of drinking again? Like, does that ever cross your mind? Like, if you did, you know, like, I know you talked about this when we went. It was after a show, and we went to a bar, he and I, and then we were eating tacos, and I had finished my one beer, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And he was like, I fucking hate you. You couldn't just drink one beer. I'm like,
no, because I know that it'll take me right back. Like I said, once my brain feels that little bit of alcohol, it's
2,
like
3,
I know
4.
where this goes. You know, my brain goes, don't tease me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
the hardest part is when you, sorry to interrupt, but like when you like talk to yourself and you're like, it's gonna be a slow night. Like I'm just gonna have 1 or 2. That's it. And like, and you try your hardest, man. You try your hardest.
We're only gonna have 1 slice.
Yeah, no, 100%. But you like somehow convince yourself
just
that,
one cannoli.
You're okay.
Yeah. Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
No matter, I love.
It's a real sickness, man.
I love the things that make me laugh during AA meetings and stuff is when people say this, because I used to do this all the time, but when you start realizing you have a problem, right? You're like, oh, okay, well, if I'm drinking everything, what if I just drink wine, right? If I just drink wine, it's going to be fine. And then that doesn't work. And you're like, okay, but if I just drink white wine, then that's going to be okay because I won't get that drunk, right? And then you're like, okay, no, whiskey only is later at night if I'm sober all day. Then you just start like telling yourself things that are like going to be a solution to this, right?
I saw an article.
Make up reasons why it's okay.
Yeah.
I saw an article someone made about
after it's okay.
How crack is healthier than fentanyl.
I mean,
remember what I said? It's fine if you don't die.
The craziest thing is like going into a treatment facility is finding out that fentanyl is like the big thing.
The biggest thing.
They don't even want heroin or pills or nothing.
No, it's fentanyl.
That's the new TikTok.
3 guys in my house.
That's the new TikTok, bro.
Yeah,
that's the new TikTok.
It's wild, man.
It's sad. 18-year-olds, dude. 18-year-olds.
Yeah, and a lot of people dying.
Well,
left and right.
I won't get too into it. Maybe I don't want to give people ideas, but when I found out how it's done and how quick you have to be about it, I guess, without going too into detail, or else you OD. Like you have to be quick with the whole process. Otherwise, if you delay something, you OD and you're dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like that. So
like, why would you want to risk that?
Yeah.
It's like skydiving, but with drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I started skydiving.
Did you? Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I took on surfing.
Yeah,
I was gonna
rip the cord right. You're gonna fall to your death.
It's actually pretty damn safe.
Is that your like? I mean, is
my
that
new drug?
Well, I was gonna say because there's like we were talking about. There's always something there's some kind of thrill that you're gonna find if you're gonna start doing.
Yeah. I would say like I was addicted to skateboarding growing up, and that's where I found like pot. You know what I mean? And that's how it got me involved.
Yep.
And then later years, I found motorcycle riding and wrecked a couple street bikes, and now I just ride Harleys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then now I'm skydiving. You know what I mean? So I think that extremeness is
The
in
rush.
Me. Yeah,
next
for sure.
You know what comes next, right?
Stand-up comedy.
Stand-up comedy.
I'm telling you, I'd rather jump out of a plane than be up in front of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Trust me, you want a real rush. You stand up in front of people. Strangers.
Nerve-wracking, man.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking.
I can't even read an essay in front of a class. You know.
Question: Are you ADD at all?
I was when I was a kid. I was diagnosed with it. You know, I was given Ritalin and stuff. But I'm not 100% sure whether I am or not.
Okay, so you don't grow out of it, but you do learn how to deal with it, cope with it as you get older.
Sure.
Something about ADD, especially with being an alcoholic and drug addict. We're very prone to we get into these mindsets really quickly about like, oh, I'm addicted to this really quick. I'm gonna go all in, and it's like a phase, right? And then you're like, oh, once that thing is either mastered really fastly or whatever, then it's done, blah blah blah, right?
Moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, you're moving on really quick.
Yeah.
That I think that has a lot that helps addicts move on pretty fast when you're like, oh, I got a rush from weed.
Right.
Oh, okay.
What's next?
Cool. Coke.
Yeah.
Coke. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, we're drinking too. It's cool. And then the thing is, at some point, you can't kick those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are the hard drugs that you cannot kick. But
can like the sobriety thing become that next?
yeah. That's what the hope is.
Well, yeah, but like it's like, okay, once you're done with the sobriety, then I'm moving on to.
like
because you know how people,
I mean,
like you said, people get addicted to that.
Yeah,
the whole process of the.
I think that happened to me a little bit because 6 years, 4 months, and 20 days is that big chunk that I had, right? Well, right around 5 years when I quit going to meetings, I was tired of it. I'd done it all. You know,
you're hearing the same shit. I'm already hearing the same shit over
in this community, you know. And
you talked about how it can kind of become a toxic thing itself. Like, back when you mentioned it.
No, even now.
Yeah. And then
sometimes
like,
it can be cliquey.
But extremely like high school cliquey, kind of a cesspool where I'm watching married people cheat on each other and stuff in this like program where you're supposed to be like
honest and faithful.
Yeah. And you know, and
it's like doing stand-up comedy, bro.
Yeah.
So I mean, also kind of discouraging too when you see people your good friends leaving the rooms and then coming back or not knowing if they're coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Sorry.
I was going to ask, like, so is it the same place you go to over and over again, or is it like different spots? Like, does it help to go to like a different group to kind of like get the same thing? Because you say if the same thing gets old, like okay,
sober goths.
Like I'm like, okay, this place is getting old. I'm kind of hearing repetition. Should I go? Can you find like another group? And that way to keep like a different. So like it never gets old because you're constantly moving, but it's like the being there helps.
I don't know if this is the way it goes, but I've heard like, so I forgot what comic someone we work with went like to Reno or somewhere, and before he planned his trip, he looked for a group to sit in before his show, so that he would be cool at the show. Like,
You have meeting guide? Yep.
Meeting guide. Everything AA.
Everything AA. Yep. Sober time. That's Monday.
Yep. There's areas of recovery, right? Like the Contra Costa area. There's like a Sonoma, Solano, you know, and traveling
Martinez
to those are like, you know, you can get some different shares, different stories and things like that. One thing that I will say though is that you hear the books. NA has the basic text and AA has the big book, and you'll hear the stories and words and phrases regurgitated out of that so many times that it kind of just becomes a repetitious
white noise.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not trying to take away from its importance, but just hearing it so much for so long, it's like I got to the point where I was like, do you even think for yourself? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because all you guys are saying the same thing over and over.
AA and 3D.
You know,
well, but that's like the struggle.
But that becomes, you know, my issue with the program, right? It's not the program's fault.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's my issue with the program, and then I end up going out and drinking, you know.
It's got to be tough though, because like it's going to listen. It's like you spend enough times working with the same comic. I already know this motherfucker's jokes. Like, they say the punchline. Five Guys Burgers. Yeah, you know, like you hear the same shit.
That joke is so old.
I hate that joke so much.
Me too.
I keep telling JD not to do it.
I know, but I have fun doing it sometimes. But it's like, you know, you kind of want to go to a different group, but does that ever become like the group is your family in a way, where even though you see all the fucked up things that happen, you know, because
usually the goal is to have a home group, one that you go to every week. You know what I mean, and that's usually where you get your what's the word I'm looking for? Your service commitments. Okay. And so like different things have different periods of sobriety you got to be sober for. So like they're not going to let you run the meeting with like 30 days sober. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be secretary. You know what I mean?
You can't be a headliner yet.
No, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, straight up. And you know, but they'll allow you to come in and make the coffee, you know, or help stay and clean up. And then those service commitments get people in early recovery to keep coming to at least one meeting, right?
I was watching the interview with. It was like a follow up to the resurrection of Jake the Snake. You guys seen that documentary?
Oh yeah,
I need to.
You know Jake the Snake, the wrestler. Well, they filmed his whole recovery with DDP helping him with yoga.
Oh really?
To like recover. I mean, alcohol was his main thing, but then also just like get him healthy and exercise and get his body back in shape. And they it came out 2-3 years ago or something, and then they just there was some thing on DDP's website where him and DDP come on talking about it, and Jake the Snake talked about how like he struggled with the recovery, you know, he craves alcohol and he was having slip ups, but what helped him to stay in it was helping other people now.
Like, that is key.
Yeah,
super key.
He said people reached out to him from watching his documentary like, yo, you know, what do you have any tips for me? Like, and that's what he said kind of brought him back to, you know, that's the next level of recovery.
Exactly how it works. You know what I mean?
The whole sponsor.
Yep. And once you become a sponsor, so I've got like 2 guys on the line. They haven't called me yet. They haven't read a chapter that I asked them to read, you know, as like a willingness test. You know what I mean? Like neither one of them would call me back, but it's not. I will say it's not my responsibility to go chasing them down and forcing them into recovery. It's them needing to get a hold of me. But should I find somebody that is going to allow me to work with them, then not only am I going to be able to help them, but they're going to be helping me by working with them. You know what I mean? So it's just a circle of recovery.
That's me and my sponsees right now. They were.
You have sponsors?
I have a sponsor, and I have 2.
You sponsor people?
I have one sponsee right now. My other one went out. Still keep in contact with him, but he's out right now.
I have a sponsor too.
Do you?
Big Boy Raps.
Big Boy Raps. No, but that's the big thing is getting them to read and to work the steps with you.
Right.
Like, he's struggling. He won't do step 5.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's just do it, man.
Yeah, just get it out. You know what I mean? And the craziest thing is like nobody. It's hard because you're going to get all your dirt, you know, all your dirt that you're keeping to yourself and nobody should know about, you know what I mean? I want nobody to know about
things you're keeping to your grave.
Yep. You get all that out and you share it with basically your higher power and usually your sponsor, but another human being, right? And that's the hard part. And 99.9% of the time, your sponsor's going to be like, you did what with the chicken? Nah, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
no, yeah.
You know,
no, it's
I didn't do nothing with chicken. I'm just saying.
No, that just threw me off. He was like, you did what with it? I was like, I have so many things.
Okay.
It was still frozen.
Okay, but the reason he says the chicken thing is because, like, that is not an abnormal, like, sponsors will tell us when we're looking for sponsors. They'll be like, we've heard every sexual act. That's the biggest thing is like the sexual acts that you've done, sexual harms and everything that you have to admit to another human being in your past while you were drunk, while you were high, things that you look back and be like, that was fucked up.
A lot of pies got fucked up.
Yeah. And then like I still served it at Thanksgiving and gave it to grandma. Like grandma still ate it. But like stuff like crazy stuff. They say animals because they'll be like, we've heard it. So whatever you have to say that you think we've never heard, we've heard worse.
Ooh, that's why those eggs were a little extra fertile.
It's like
that's not syrup.
You know what? I wanted to ask you something.
Recovery's hilarious.
You sure you don't want to try to stand up, dude? Like, the chicken story alone.
Like, down. I get up in front of people on the stage, bro. I'll blank out.
Nah, just turn your back, dude. Just be like this. Be like, hey, so I'm gonna tell you this real sick story about fucking a chicken. Okay, real quick. All right, cool.
You know what? You know what's a crazy thing though? Like, I can't imagine like a comedy show. Oh, I mean, I'm sure it'll happen, but with no audience members drinking alcohol.
There's a thing called the sober bar.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm just thinking like any place.
Utah.
Oh yeah. And we might. Hey, you know what? I might book a sober like night comedy.
Well, don't do that.
Church shows. Church shows.
Don't fuck up your money.
No. Hear me out. Where I book comics in recovery and no alcohol for the audience whatsoever. And
that's actually, and then
so people,
donate,
because I know
donate money and do something.
Yeah, because I know like a lot of like temptations usually when you go out. A lot of people that who are in sobriety, and that's why a lot of them don't want to go out because there's
90% of local entertainment is at bars.
At bars, so I would like to.
Sporting events, anything.
Or a comedy show for me would be the easiest thing to do, and just no alcohol whatsoever here today, just sodas and fucking.
So there are things like that. So like
I'm sure,
AA and NA both have conventions, right? Where they take like Hilton or whatever, and
Sprite bong.
They rent out all.
No, they rent out like a hotel,
a whole hotel, right?
Shit.
So like a Hilton and all their conference rooms and like their hall and all that's all taken
like
up by
giant AA
meetings and dance parties and comedy shows and all kinds of stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
There's also a Clean and Sober motorcycle club, the Third Legacy in this area, and they have a chapter in Lodi in Central Valley, and one of Lodi's events is called Chow and Chuckles, and it's basically like a dinner and usually Clean and Sober comedians.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Can you guys
Whole bunch of mocktails and soda.
I love mocktails.
I was gonna ask
We
you.
have mocktail.
I love mocktails.
I'm not a mocktail guy.
Yeah.
It reminds me too much of. It brings me back too close.
Right.
Are you a mocktail guy or
not really.
non-alcoholic beer guy? I used to love non-alcoholic
I'm totally
beers.
still abusing caffeine and nicotine.
Yes,
you know what I mean, I know it. You know what I mean. And if they were considered narcotics, I'd be really.
I am.
Every teacher's best friend, right there.
Yeah. I'm addicted to these bad. Are you addicted?
Oh yeah,
I didn't feel good this morning, and I was like, and it was like, JD was like, "You want some coffee?" I was like, "Oh yes,
That's what's missing.
that was missing." I was like, "I'm feeling good. I'm like this," and he was like, "Coffee," and I hadn't had coffee all day.
Covered by coffee.
I abuse the fuck out of coffee. So now I don't keep alcohol at home. I mean, I'm still drinking. I still drink. Like I had 3 drinks the other day at a show, but I don't.
You need treatment, man.
For my take him off the podcast. Right?
For my diabetes, right? No.
I'm gonna take him to food rehab.
But I don't keep alcohol at home. And back then, I used to go grocery shopping, and I was like, I need to have beers at home. Now I don't have. I have bottles since last Christmas that I bought that are still like more than half full.
You've probably had your runs with alcohol, but you're just not an alcoholic.
That's what I think. Yeah, I think.
You're not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. We figured it out. I don't need rehab.
We call them normies, right?
Yep.
That's what we call them. People who can on their own. And the book says something about despite grave consequences or something in your face, you still can't stop.
Yeah,
which I believe is me.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
that's why.
If I'm on my dying bed, fuck it, I'm already dying. Might as well have another drink.
In my 20s, I used to drink a lot, but I like what he said. Like you're only gonna have one, because I would do that. I would do like some nights I'm just gonna have one, but I did at one point was like killing whole bottles of Jack, by myself.
Right.
But I think that was just more of a thirst thing.
Let me ask you something. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Was there a specific alcohol that like you did not fuck with? Because for me, I'll tell you this. This was really funny. I would drink whiskey was my thing.
Yeah.
If vodka was cool, tequila, I didn't like it so much, but I would drink it if it was the only thing there.
You sure as hell down my bottle that one time.
No, yeah. But gin was the only thing I would not touch. I can't. I just like I had 2 bottles of gin at the house at all times, and if it was the only thing there, I just wouldn't drink. But I would struggle wanting whiskey. It's the only thing I wouldn't touch.
So
gin and tonic's my go-to.
A lot of whiskey.
No, that's just disgusting.
Once I'm like full blown on a roll going, it's just cheap vodka because it's quick and just you know what I mean.
That's dangerous.
And what sucks is that's what you see like a lot of homeless people. It's cheap vodka.
Yeah, the little
plastic bottles.
Yeah, plastic bottles because it's right now to the point.
Jeez.
$4
for a little fifth.
Yep.
You can just,
and that's when you see guys with that at work, like a little cheap. We work like in the same field.
Yeah.
You see in the porta potty sometimes.
Oh yeah.
little fireball.
Yeah.
Fireball.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, I was wearing my cowboy boots nonstop so that I could hide fireball bottles in my.
I'm not laughing, but like.
No. It's funny. It's funny to think about, but like, I was like, there's no way I'm like any of these guys.
Yeah.
I'm not drinking out of plastic bottles because that's a whole thing in rehab, right? And it was like, I was, dude. I had plastic fireball bottles in my fucking boots at like all time.
I'm gonna check your boots. I'm gonna check to see if you're wearing boots.
I don't. Well, yeah, you could check these boots.
No, I know what
These
you're
are pretty.
talking about.
Those are my ankles.
You were also in like a recovery-based bike group, right?
Are
Are you still
actually that same group?
Oh, you're still.
I left them.
What were they called? You said
The Third Legacy.
Third Legacy. Okay. Yeah.
There's a bunch of them around here, but I had left them a couple years before I went out and relapsed.
Yeah.
That was sort of the same kind of issue that I had, not their issue. It was my issue, around like the whole, feeling like it should be just a clean and sober club, like, and be on those lines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when they go a different way or whatever, or have different ideas, it was my issue with them, you know what I mean? Not,
What was
not
some of
their
the
issue.
ideas that they had that you didn't necessarily agree with?
So
If you could share.
yeah, I don't want to get too crazy into it, but my biggest one was when people wanted to spend money on the club to like get a clubhouse or to have all these other things that like big boy bike clubs do, you know what I mean? And
Headquarters
the goals and the founding members were to have a prudent reserve to put on events, and then all the other money be given back to the community to help recovery or people in need, or and that was the entire point. So once people were like, oh, well, we should do this with the money, and it only benefited the club, I was like, it's going in different directions than I would like.
It's not what you signed up for.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes
sense. Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. I will say too, like not everybody, but some people put a patch on their leather vest and now think that they're somebody. You know what I mean? And it's like,
I got you.
It's not that at all. You know what I mean? It's clean and sober. We're here to help the community, and that's it.
Right.
So, their chest gets a little flared out, and I'm like,
people.
Just for the record, Rudy said that, not anyone else here.
Right. I mean, being a part of something can make you feel special.
Well, I mean, so
natural.
you get into this like. It's funny,
but like you said, it turns into clicky.
It's
thing.
very
it can
clicky.
be too extreme.
Some people call AA a cult, and then you look at it and you're like, we're kind of our own little cult, It
can be very culty and
it's very
esoteric
culty,
and
yeah. Except without the, like, you could just join and leave whenever kind of aspect of it.
Right,
but
right.
like we kind of are that, and then you have those people inside that are like, I've been sober for this long, and like I know I'm all knowing, and then you have those guys kind of like you were like, I was sober for 7 years or 16 years, and then I relapsed, so I don't know shit anymore.
yeah.
I had a moment.
Me now?
I had a moment with him where I felt. He came with me to a show in San Jose. I don't know if it was that night. It might have been a different night, but I had a drink, and then I don't know what it was he said. It was when he was in recovery, and I felt like, this motherfucker, like, haven't been drinking for 2 months, want to judge me, like, And I think I told you that, but you say you weren't doing that at all. But I felt like you were, and I'm sure that's something you guys probably experience going out with people that drink still, where you're like, don't judge me, motherfucker. Like, I'm, I don't know if you remember that. I think you remember that, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I apologize if I.
No, I don't care.
I don't know what I said.
But it's one of those things that like
came off preachy.
It came off to me at the time. I think it came off preachy, and I was like, all right, dude, relax. Like, like.
I don't remember that.
Have you ever had moments like that with people where like?
Not a whole lot, 'cause I try not to bring recovery into other people's lives who may drink or something. You know what I mean? It's not my job to. And it's what is it, the spiritual principles, where it's like attraction rather than promotion. So we're not out there being like, hey, you should get sober, and you should get sober, and you should get sober. It's the idea that
sober 5.
The idea that my life got shitty and I found a way out of it, and somebody else's life who might be shitty might look at that and be like, he did it.
And then, can you help me out?
Yeah, hey, what'd you do? You know what I mean?
Then I'm down.
And you want it's one of those things where you want people to come to you instead of because I know it can.
The idea of us going out and telling what you have to do is not,
And that can be a dangerous thing. Not dangerous, but you know, seeing someone drunk, like you need help, like that can be that can be a fucked up thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that firsthand, like in, you know, like family parties, or the personal experience I had where
like an intervention or something, like a.
Well, it was just someone told someone else, you know, I don't want to say who, but like, you know, it's like, hey, you got a problem. Like, you know, fuck you. You don't even talk to your kids. Like, it was like, whoa, like, you know, like.
That may be true. That just means we both have problems.
Right.
I'm trying to help you with yours.
And that's why I'll never.
Would you like babysit my children? We could trade. I'll bring you to the AAs and you can babysit Tim.
I give you a bottle to come babysit, yeah. But that's it. Like, you know, I mean, like I was saying, I know. I think I was just. It was like I don't know if you remember that at all, but I remember it. I was like, man, you know what? I like you better when you drink, bro. Like it's like one of those things, you know, where I was like, man, I felt judged, but I also thought about myself, like, I guess I was, you know, I was a little, you know, drinking. I don't know if I should say this on there. I was doing something drunk that I shouldn't be doing, and I called you.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And I was just like, where I couldn't see.
No, okay, I wasn't.
You was on a skateboard?
Yeah. I kind of Uber drunk home.
Fun fact, I don't think you can get a DUI on a skateboard.
No,
not yet. No, you can get on a bike, you can get on a horse, and a scooter. And a scooter. You cannot get one on a skateboard. It does not go fast enough.
It was Uber. The driver's guy was named Jose.
I do. Okay, I know what you're talking about, and that was
Jose with an H.
That was me. That was me calling him stupid. Yeah, because I'm his friend, and I was like,
just looking at.
I was like, there's a reason you called. Yeah, you know,
I missed. I forgot to. I left that detail out.
Yeah. What was he doing? Yeah. Why did he call me?
And then there's probably some guilt there too, right? Like you were like, shut up, because I know I'm doing that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
because what I mean.
Yeah, it was, and it was like raining. It was. Yeah.
It was the most dangerous.
You was skateboarding when it was raining? Come on now. Yeah. No helmet, no elbow pads.
Just Tony Hawk vibes and alcohol, baby.
Exactly. Tony Hawk always wore a helmet. Fuck you.
Tony Hawk always.
But it was
and pads.
It was funny because I did call because I was like, hey, talk to me while I.
Yeah, he was like, talk to me the whole time while I'm.
Because I was like, I would think I was.
So that's an issue, right? And I was like, why didn't you call me? I could have gone and picked you up.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter. Like I'd rather go pick you up.
I was with you that night.
Yeah, you were. You guys. Why?
I don't want to involve you in my problems.
I'm going to talk to you after this too.
I don't want to involve you in my problems. We were.
All you guys are on timeout.
We were at Copper Spoon. It was long. It was a while back. Anyways,
you know, it was a long time ago. It was like 2 weeks ago.
I ain't been in Copper Spoon in a month and a half, so I don't know what you're talking about.
It was longer than that.
What trips me out is that like 2012, I got a DUI. And in 2022, in February, it came off my driving record. I think it's still on your criminal record, but it comes off your driving record. And here I am back out drinking and fucking driving and snorting blow in my car and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a fucking idiot, you know what I mean? Like, just throwing it all out the window again.
Time to re-up.
Yeah. Lucky, you know.
They're like, they're not going to
luckily nothing happened.
It cancels it out.
Yeah, Coke sobers you up, right?
The 10-year anniversary.
Time to bring it back.
I just talked to him.
The director's cut DUI.
I don't know if this ever happened to you, but like, I was telling him earlier today, actually, we were talking about it, and it was like, yo, when you get to a certain point of drinking so heavily, Coke doesn't even do anything anymore. Now I'm just addicted to just snorting things. Yeah. Like, I was, if I didn't have Coke, dude, I would snort. No, it's okay, but like, I would snort like Advils and stuff just because, like, I'd break it up just to snort something. Like that's
sweeties.
It burned like crazy, and it was just like.
For me, like the Coke always helped with the drunk, kind of evening it out. Yeah.
For me,
I can't really say sober enough because now you're high on Coke. But I will say that the alcohol got to a point where, like, I'm probably at a 0.3 blood level and still speaking to you like I am right now and walking straight and, like, just so heavily toxic in my body that much alcohol doesn't affect me the same way that
it does for everyone else.
Yeah, it would for everybody else.
Wow.
Yeah, like you have
functional your tolerance.
Yeah, tolerance and functionality. You know what I mean? And that's a scary thing.
And it's a scary thing too. Like you said, the fentanyl now that's in with the, you know, and it's funny because like not funny, but we were out like a year ago or more than a year ago, and you I told you, hey man, be careful, that fentanyl shit's crazy right now. We were at Mallard's. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, it's cool. If I feel my heart beating too fast, I stop doing it. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, logic, bro.
Yeah.
That was legit, like my logic.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because I found out too.
Too fast to drink some more alcohol. It'll slow you down.
Yeah, slow down.
R.I.P. the homie soon, man. Like, I was thinking like.
I mean, just finding out like I was like doing speed too.
Yeah.
And then
I was doing that too.
I didn't know speed was meth. I didn't know that. Like my dumbass was just like, oh, I know it's not coke, but it's fine. It's like the same thing, right? And then,
hey, this isn't Advil.
I was like, dude, I mean, this kind of burns a little bit, but like whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I was just buying shit from whoever by the end. I did not care. Like it was like, was it trustworthy? Fuck it. Here's $50. Just give me whatever you got.
Yeah, I did that once too. And
that's when I realized that.
In Antioch, you see the dudes sitting out in front of a ghetto liquor store, and like, you know, they've been out there all day long. You know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So then
they're waiting for a ride.
Yeah, swung
reading
there.
poetry.
Stand-up comedy.
I swung in there, hollered at him. God knows it ended up. I shouldn't even say that. It ended up being really good, but
I was about to say that. I was like, it was probably good. Huh? It's like, now I know why you out here all day.
Who knows what it could have been? You know, it could have been laced with fentanyl. It could have been sheetrock dust. Yeah,
sheetrock dust.
It could have been anything. You know,
right?
And then the other thing that happened with me is I'd be kicking it with, you know, dirtbag people out at dirtbag bars and run out of coke, and you know, the person's like, well, I got meth, you know what I mean? And I'm drunk again, and I'm like, well, fuck it, give me one. Jeez. And then I'm like, bing, you know, now I'm off and running again, and party's still going, you know. It's fucking yeah. And knowing it too, like, nah, I'll never be a meth addict or nothing.
Right.
But then all of a sudden I'm snorting meth, you know, like, fuck, what the fuck, you know?
Well, because there's like, oh, you can snort it, you don't have to like, you don't smoke, man.
Or
like,
shoot it.
Yeah, shoot it. Yeah, so like, it's fine, right? Like, it's not that much different from coke.
Right.
Just the same thing as I said, I was never going to do coke.
It feels like your eyeball's going to fall out.
Right. You know?
Rudy, we're getting close to the end, bro. Before you go, any last messages that you want to give our followers, and if you want them to reach out again like we did last time?
Yeah, sure.
But before that though, on top of that, last time you were here was 11 months ago.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was over a year.
It was actually, no, it was over a year because we recorded, so it was like a year ago that you were here.
Yeah, it was right around a year.
Or a year ago. So we got to run this. We got to have you back.
Sure.
To make sure you're still sober.
Sure, absolutely. Anytime,
At this point, your kid will be like a year old.
Yeah.
We got to make sure to see if you got another kid on the way, and you got to be on standby again. That's
we were just talking about that earlier today too. Like, after this one, are we going for one more or not? You know, so
and we don't want to hear I relapsed again. Nah, dude, I'm flipping the table over.
I want to hear, hey, yo, I shot the club up again. That's what I want to hear. See, do any minute, baby.
You know, I think the kid played a big part in and Robin herself too, and starting this family and having goals and ambitions together as a family. For me to decide on my own to call that facility and be like, hey, can you guys get me in there, because I need to be removed from society altogether, right? And be put in a place like that. And also to be in a place like that and see how bad it can get, because some of these people were literally coming straight out of tents, you know, and had nothing but the clothes on their back and not even socks, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. So, I do steal my socks in my house.
I believe it. Yeah.
And I was just like, keep them, dude. Yeah. I have socks at home.
And since then, I've been able to get with some of my friends that run a nonprofit, and they got hooked up with those Bomba socks where you buy a pair and they donate a pair. Yeah. And then I was able to take back to DVR a big old thing of socks.
That's
cool. That
feels
good.
Really cool.
That feels really cool. You know what I mean?
So,
if you've seen the store, the clothing, the donation, I help clean that up. So,
nice.
So you guys are welcome.
So I've been using DVR. What does DVR stand for?
Diablo Valley Ranch.
Okay. Because I've been thinking like the recording thing for the longest time. I'm not gonna lie, like, or like something else. Like I thought it was Diablo Valley, Digital video recording. I'm bad with acronyms, so whenever somebody says like an acronym, I think like the most like DVR. I'm like, okay, so digital video recording has a like.
Can anybody let me borrow the DVR?
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm like, oh, did I record Saturday Night Live? Like kind of like just like dumb stuff like that. Like
You know what? Wait, can I tell you why I picked DVR?
Go ahead.
Oh, real quick. I picked DVR because there was like farm animals and stuff. they said they had on the website.
Everybody's got a kink, man.
I was like, bro, I was like chickens. They had horses apparently and stuff like that, right? They had golf. They had everything, right?
Oh, they only have male horses.
I got there.
Marco was trying to
one
fuck
horse
a horse
died.
on the golf course.
The horse is dead. Only one person was in charge of all the chickens and the rooster.
It was Rudy.
Right? And then
easy access.
I just got out. I had just gotten out of like the food industry, and I was like, I want to get away from that. I'm gonna try it. That's why I wanted to go there. Put me in the kitchen. Yep. I was stuck in the kitchen the whole 30 days, and then. On top of that, they had just taken away golf because two guys tried to kill each other with the golf clubs.
Okay.
Softball field gone.
Yep.
Can't do nothing. Gym taken away.
No softball field?
Recording studio, all the pool table gone.
Gym was open while I was there, but it's real like
it's nasty right now.
It's like
it's all rusted
up
up
and stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's what we had.
You know, that place was like it's been around for 50 years, and it's been cracking at times where they got a pool and they've got
the pool was
crazy stuff.
Recording studio.
Well,
you were saying. What were you saying that like
we had some guitars in my room.
You were saying something about that you got because you were on your thought about how. You said you wanted to be removed from society.
Oh yeah, so that way I just didn't have options to go out and use, and taken away from life altogether. And plus, I was from calling in sick to work and stuff like that, and not showing up now. Because since it is a medical issue now, I have doctor letters to give to work and things like that too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
so you didn't ruin the relationship with work.
Yeah, I was trying to cover all my bases so that way I didn't just throw my whole life away. You know what I mean? And try to
smart.
The blessings are that you get disability too if you're employed. You get disability because it's a legit medical disease. So,
for sure.
Oh, yeah. So and then another thing too that I might bring
up. I did not know that.
If you're employed, you can get disability. Another thing that I'll say real quick for people who don't know is if you come to your employer and tell them, this is just California, I don't know about all the other states, but if you come to your employer and say, hey, I have a problem with drinking or I have a problem with drugs and I need help, they can't fire you. But if you
get caught.
Yeah, if you get caught in a drug test, a random drug test or something like that, then you can get fired.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so if you come to them and say, hey, I need to fix this problem, they're supposed to allow you to go get treatment.
Question. You mentioned that you can file for disability, so a doctor can diagnose you as alcoholic, and then that paperwork gets filed. That is something else.
You show up to the doctor with a cocktail, like no, I'm just kidding. But
if there was any doubt, doctor.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. I'll tell you this after. That's not really that.
And do you want anyone to hit you up if that's possible? Yeah, what's your IG, or do you? I'll tag you if you want, but if you want to
tag me in the thing. I'll give it to you guys real quick. It is
Rudy Dizzle.
Yep. I think
11 months ago your episode dropped. That means we recorded it a month before that. So yeah, dude, it's been a while.
Yeah, ROO_DIZZLE.
ROOD. You got it?
Oh, I didn't see it. No.
Can you repeat it one more time for the folks who want to listen?
ROO_DIZZLE.
Underscore.
So what should we expect in another 6 to 7 months when we have you back? What's your goal?
Have a little baby boy. Be a dad and everything be good. Still be working and hopefully have finished my A license in skydiving.
There we go.
Heck yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got
that means you can.
I've had 24 jumps, I think.
How many do you need?
So it's all how fast you can complete these tasks in the air.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the last one I did is where like the instructor falls faster and then I have to fall down to his level faster and then he falls slower and I have to fall slower with him and turn and meet each other and then fly away and it's all these things you got to do. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's awesome,
wild, man.
Well, hey,
nope.
I would have been like, time out. Are you falling? No.
Well, no. We hope to have you back. Just in general. Thank you again for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Being open about all this, bro.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you.
Hey, cheers.
Here's water. Cheers, brother.
That's been the Voice Party,
and we're out.
Check your phone.